Well, hello and welcome to Your Colorful Path with Charu. I am really excited today because I am chatting with my friend, Tariq, who I have known for a little bit. What we share in common is our love for transformation, meditation, and all the wonderful things that have happened in our life because of these topics. And I'm so happy to have you here today with me, Tariq. Thank you for saying yes and making the time. And I would love for us to start from the start. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know you have an amazing story of transformation. Could we get right into it?
Yeah, definitely. I know we have a little bit of time here, but I'll try to keep this part as short as I can, so bear with me. Yeah, so I guess like how I really got started on the path. So I've been really big into, I'm an artist. I got different stuff that I like to work on, like music, writing, and everything. But at the same time, I was like building a business, and I was really struggling trying to juggle everything on top of having a job and all that. And I kind of noticed that my body started breaking down a little bit, and that was around 2018 or so. And after that, and like a couple of just different events in my life, I noticed like my legs were getting stiff, and like it was like on and off. Like I was limping a little bit here and there. And then around late April of 2018, I needed to buy a cane. Like I just couldn't, I couldn't move like the way I normally would. And I was almost 24 at the time. And so I've been trying like a whole different, like whole bunch of stuff to get myself like off of it, because I was following different like podcasts for like natural healing, my man Sean Stevenson's channel, Model Health Show. But it was mostly I was mostly looking at like food, and then I focused a lot on like elimination diets. And then I think at some point I looked into environmental toxins, because there was maybe something in the environment I was in that was affecting me. I wasn't in the best apartment when I was living in Maryland. I was inhaling some toxins when I was doing my laundry. So I'm thinking, all right, maybe there's that. I was taking the bus and the metro all the time. So yeah, I don't know, maybe there's something there. Who knows? And I think it was around like 2020, like I did a little bit of chiropractic work, and also something told me to look more into addressing more of the mind body connection. And it's interesting that happened around the same time of like COVID too, because a lot of people had a lot of emotional stuff coming up for themselves. So I think it gave me permission to look deeper into some stuff that I was repressing even before the pandemic as well. So I was with this one like chronic healing app, and they help people do like journal. It's kind of like on the uses it uses the wisdom of like Dr. John Sarno. He talks a lot about like repressed emotions and processing them, and then if you process it and give them a voice, you basically leads to the body healing. So I did some of that. I was able to get off my first cane because I had two. I was on that one for a little bit. I was off it for a few, but then I think because I kept returning back to the past and like venting out all my emotions, I came back to needing a cane again. And around early 2021, I was like, I remember hearing about Dr. Joe Dispenza at some point, and I remember he had meditations and all that. I remember he healed himself, but I think I had this thought in my mind, like, yeah, like, but it took him like hours to like heal his spine and all that. I'm thinking like, can I really meditate for that long? Like, and I did some meditation. Like, I think the longest I did was like 20 minutes, but it's like, I mean, it feels good, but the focus for that long, an hour, that's kind of a stretch. And then
Yeah.
I ended up finding Doc. Lewis Howes was interviewing him. I was already following Lewis like back when I was doing like business and personal development, like way before. So when I saw he brought him on, and they were talking about relationships, because I was interested in one like down the line, and and I feel like something was just wasn't clicking with how I've been approaching romantic relationships before. And then Dr. Joe was talking about how he would go about it, and I was like, oh, that really resonates. But then he brings up how people have healed with his work again, because I only heard about how he's healed with meditation, but I haven't heard other people. And it's like, oh yeah, like people had like diabetes, arthritis, and like he started going down a list. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa. You tell me about all of that, doc. And then I looked up breaking the habit of being yourself, and that was a wrap. I started with the placebo meditations.
Yeah.
Uh, I did that for about a month, but yeah, that's how I got started into Doc's work. Um, around, I went to my first retreat in 2022 uh, in San Diego. Days after that retreat, I destroyed my second cane, and I haven't been on it ever
Amazing.
since. And
Amazing.
yeah, so yeah.
That is so incredible. I want to know more about that moment.
Hmm.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about what really happened in that moment?
Like when I was in the work, or was like during the week long specifically, or
Yeah, I guess my question is that moment where you let go of the cane, right? Was it
mm,
was it a singular moment or was it a series of moments now that you look back? Because I really feel like transformation for me, and when I see it reflected in other people's stories, it's a series of conscious choices made again and
mm,
again and again and again and again, and then suddenly everything is different, right? Do you think that it was something like that for you now that you look back in hindsight of what led to this incredibly transformative moment where you just let go of your cane, something that you had depended on that you
hmm.
just didn't anymore? Like what was it like for you?
Well, to be honest, I feel like it was a couple different things. So it would probably help if I go back to like when I got back on the second one before, and I was still doing Dr. Joe's work. I think I was more focused on the meditations that really, like felt good, like the healing and manifesting ones, which is all great. But I think because I wasn't necessarily like addressing so much like how I was thinking and feeling and acting like the old person, and I didn't have that clearly defined. I think the moment I looked at that, and then I had like a clear image of like, okay, this is who I've been subconsciously. Okay, now that I know who I've been, this is who I want to be. And I think because I had that, because I said I read Breaking the Habit, but I didn't do the meditations till like like March of 2022, and I only
Mm.
started the week long in April 2022, which was like late April. So I had about like a month and change to work on it, but I just went for Breaking the Habit, and I said, let me focus on, if I have to unmemorize one emotion, the one I want to look at is unmemorizing lack and scarcity, because I feel like that's in
Mm.
so many areas. Because he said, like, I know a lot of y'all want to pick like all the emotions, but just pick one. And I said, okay,
Mm.
when I saw the word lack in there, I said, that resonates because I feel like I haven't had enough of so many things, whether it be like love or
Wow.
respect or money,
Yeah.
especially money, because I was like hustling,
Yeah.
grinding in business. So it was like I wrote down a whole lot of things, and every morning I'd go back, I review that list, and I'd be like, okay, this is who I'm not going to be. I did the meditations, and he also has that change self hypnosis too. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. Now, when you're in that state, it's like, okay, like when you feel that familiar feeling, when you just want to default, you just say change, and it snaps you out of it. And it really helps when you're in that light state because you're programming yourself to do it. And so, like, literally, like, I just found myself like throughout my day just going change. And, like, I didn't even try to say it. Like, I just felt the feeling, and I'm like, whoa, change. It just ended up becoming instinctual. Even
Yeah.
throughout like San Diego, like I had like moments where I was like wanting to default, and I'm like change, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I came to San Diego prepared. I'm like, all right, thank you. Spe- yeah, especially on the last day when I had to like get my luggage out of the room and I had to catch a late flight. Like it was just so much stress. I'm like, change. I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah,
Wow.
but as far as, so that was the first part. And the second part, before I even went to San Diego, I said, I'm not even going to try to heal, because I heard what he's been saying about people, like the ones who actually heal, they don't try to heal. I'm going to go
Mm.
there. I'm going to have an amazing time. I'm going to do like, that was it. I just kept it simple. I'm going to go there. I'm going to have an amazing time.
Yeah.
It's in Southern California. The weather's nice. I've been cooped up in this house for like a while. And even before COVID, because I wasn't walking a lot,
Mm.
like going outside.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, I'm going to go there. I'm going to have a good time. And so, and I also was looking forward to the walking meditations, even though, like, you know, someone might think, like, yeah, but you're on a cane. Like, why would that be the one thing you're looking forward to? And I just really love the idea of like walking as your future self, like,
Yeah.
like, like walking in that different energy.
Yeah.
And, and And I saw like a lot of that. Hmm.
I'm gonna just butt in just for people that may not be too familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. I just want to put it into perspective of what you're talking about because these are things that you and I, of course, live and breathe.
Hmm.
So Dr. Joe Dispenza does these retreats where you can go and really immerse yourself in the work, and that's where some of them I've attended, some of them Tariq has attended, and he attended one such retreat in San Diego. Also, he has written 3 books: You Are the Placebo, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and Becoming Supernatural. So, all these books come with their dedicated meditations. And so, when Tariq was talking about the placebo meditations, he was talking about the meditations that are related to the context of the book, You're the Placebo and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which are available to purchase and buy for anybody. You don't really have to go to a retreat to do his work. You can just get a book and start right away. And then the third part you said, Tariq, was about the walking meditation, which I just think that people are not super familiar, maybe. So I'll
Hmm.
just give in. This is so Dr. Joe Dispenza's work teaches meditation sitting, which is the usual way of meditation. He also teaches it to you while you're walking, where you walk as your future self, and lying down. Did I forget any? Tariq? Sitting, lying
Yeah,
down,
sitting, lying down, standing and walking are pretty much,
standing.
together. Because he
Yeah,
has you stand first, eyes closed, and then he has you walk.
yeah,
So yeah, that's it.
yeah, yeah. So though that's the context, and now you may please go
Hmm.
ahead.
Yeah, like that's definitely important. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah. So, but
It's
yeah,
become such a part of our world that it's just our
yeah,
world, right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the walking meditations, I've heard people mention like having big moments during those walking meditations, but I've also seen like some of the videos he had of people actually doing them, and I just noticed like the energy they were bringing. Like some of them, like I could just tell, like they were just like changing, like right there and then, and they were just like that, like they were walking, like they were in their dream life right
Yeah,
there. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, let me try that. I want to do that. And
yeah,
the thing is, like, I knew I would need help. Like, they got volunteers there, and thank God for my man Justin. Shout out to Justin Rice, that's my bro right there. But he was helping me out with the walking meditations, and I remember I was excited for them because I'm like, I never done anything like this before, and I'm just go
mm.
there. I'm gonna show up. Yes, it's gonna be a challenge, but I'm gonna just show up there, and I'm gonna just do my best. And I think it was the first one, like, while I wasn't walking like perfect, like, but the first one, like, yeah, like I was kind of like moving a bit. I'm like, okay, I had my cane. I was going a little faster, faster. And I'm like, okay. Then at some point, like, I was kind of hobbling a bit. Like, it's like a combination of like a chicken and a slow penguin. Like that's the,
That's the
like, that's the,
pace. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and then at some point, I'm like, I just folded up my cane. I'm like, just take this. And then I kept going, moving like that. And I'm like, I know I'm walking funny, but I don't care. I'm feeling it. And I still needed it at the end of the meditation because I was fatigued. It became like throughout the week, it became like the only time I really needed the cane was because I was using so much energy with how I was moving rather than I needed it to hold myself up, which I didn't need. But like, I think around either Thursday or actually no, like Wednesday. It's like the middle of the week at one point. I think oh, and also for folks who don't know, like at these retreats, I think Doc even calls them like a spiritual rave sometimes. So people are like dancing and getting their energy up. They're playing good
Yeah.
music either before meditation or a lecture. So everybody's up there, like in the ballroom, like just dancing. They got good music playing. I think they had Michael
Yeah.
Jackson playing, and I'm like, yes, finally. So I go up there. I still have my cane, so I'm going there. I went up there and I was talking to somebody. And I was like talking, like I'm just feeling the energy. I'm like, yeah. So next thing you know, I'm just holding my cane like on my shoulder, just walking back, and people are looking at me like, "Yo, what? What's going on?" You're like, "You're just holding it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I don't need it as much as I thought I did." Yeah. So just little by little, they were like gradual
Wow.
steps, and I think also uh for the first walking meditation too, like I would not being doing this a disservice if I didn't mention my really good friend Caitlin O'Toole. And I gotta say, like, she changed my life. Like I'm really glad to call her my sister, like my
Mhm.
soul sis, like just really. And when I met
Was she
her,
the one that introduced you to the work?
no, she didn't. I mean,
Okay.
I found it on my own. But
Okay.
Caitlin, I met her, and she was like really like trying to like, she was really just like hyping like folks up and everything, and like really like just really like spreading her love and her energy and everything. And when she told me her story about like how she had like 5 years to live, and like doctors give her 5 years to live, and she had like all these different like chronic issues. And I think like later, like I even saw like a photo of her, like her body was like almost like gone. Like she think she was like 80 pounds or something. She looks great now, like
Mm.
fantastic. But yeah,
Mm.
but when she told me that, I'm looking at her now. I'm like, oh my god, like, like I literally have an example of truth like right here. And she ended up
Yeah.
being just one of my great friends. And then when and she actually ended up like seeing me like not using the cane like later. She's like, see, like I told you. And I was like, man, you're right. You're right. So shout out to her because she was amazing. And yeah,
And that's
so
the
I
power of like somebody living the reality that you may want to live in. And I think
mhm,
that's so powerful when you see someone else do run the 4 minute mile, right? Like, and there is an example before you, and then you stop seeing it as a limitation because all you can think is if they can do it, I can do it.
mhm, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So it was like a lot of small instances like throughout. And I think around Thursday after my first, actually, it might have been Friday, I forget. But after my first coherence healing, I think we might need to explain what that is too.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do the honors, or you want me to do it, or
Yeah. Go ahead.
okay, yeah, yeah. So, um, to put it short, like everybody, like when we're all meditating, like by ourselves, we're all focusing on energy and frequency, like within our bodies and like around our bodies, and basically we're getting ourselves in a state in which we're raising like basically coherence and like orderliness within ourselves. So, but when we're doing healings on other people, we're basically taking what we've done on ourselves and we're directing it towards a specific target. And it's based on this principle of quantum entanglement, like that we're basically all connected through this like
Yeah.
energetic field. And basically, we're using like coherent energy from our field to influence somebody else's field and to basically raise their field up to be more orderly, like all like the atoms, cells, all the way up to the systems of their body. So basically, their body is working like all together, like it's working all in harmony. So it's really beautiful poetry because it's like we have to create harmony in ourselves to create harmony within someone else, and like
That's
and
it.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's just like really beautiful. And there's like there's a good amount of like energetic releases, emotional releases.
Yeah.
People aren't in pain, like they're just like releasing like what doesn't serve them
Yeah.
anymore, and just really like. So when it first happened to me, like my heart was just like really, I felt like this really like this heat on my heart, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, and I was ugly crying. I wasn't expecting me to ugly cry, but I just let myself go,
Yeah.
and it was a really beautiful moment. And I was like, wow. Like, so I had about like three of them, but after like that first one, I was feeling good. But the day after, I think the only time I really needed my cane was like if I was like, because the hotel was pretty big. So basically navigating the like long distances.
Yeah.
So I could like, so I could just put my cane on the chair and just walk around the ballroom, no problem. Or I could just have it in one room and I'll be fine. So I basically got to that point where it's like I didn't really need to walk around a room. I could just walk in the room and not even use it. So that was beautiful.
So would you say that the person that went to the retreat, right, before the start of the retreat, and the person that came out of that ballroom without the cane or with only needing it like very few times, what do you think? Like, is that an entirely new person?
But yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. I would also say, and this probably might have to be like a whole other podcast in itself, because the end of the retreat was the beginning for me, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is compared to like where I was at the end of the retreat to now. I'm like, whoa, you know. But yes, because in the beginning, I remember I remember feeling a little bit off because I was not expecting that much love around people, especially like not after coming from the pandemic where everybody was like divisive and scared. But even like just in general, even before, I was not expecting people to be that loving. I'm like humans don't do that. Like at least the ones I haven't seen. But
Yeah.
when I just saw the community and just how much love everybody had for everybody, like even
Yeah.
though they didn't know me, I was like, I don't know about that. But then later, I'm like, actually, this is supposed to be normal.
Yes.
Like this is normal. Like this is
Yes.
supposed to be it.
Yes.
Like
That is
so.
definitely a shared experience. I think when humans let go of their own feelings of, like you said, in your case it was lack, I think we're all carrying many things that are just drawing us down, and then when we get ready to let go of them, I think all that's left is love for yourself and others. And it's hard not to share it, right? It's hard to keep it all to yourself. It just comes pouring out of you. And I think that's what happens when you get into these spaces where people are in the same space, just letting go and releasing what no longer works and getting more close to what really does.
Definitely.
Yeah. I really responded to something you said, and I would like to talk about this, but I'd like you to just finish like what happened towards the end of your retreat. But my question after that is, you spoke about recognizing the feeling of lack and how it was sort of governing your life,
Hmm.
and how you I would like you to speak a little bit more about it, because I think that is so, I resonate with that. I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of lack, and you know how you recognized it, then you changed it, you have had profound transformation, and like you said, after the end of that retreat was an entirely new beginning for you, and how you continue to apply that, or has it evolved in even deeper ways for you?
Hmm. Yeah. It really it really helped for me to write everything down, like where
Mm.
I was feeling lack, like specifically, because when I was doing the break of the habit meditations before my retreat, I kind of had this system like on my notes. I would write down like, okay, this is what I'm unmemorizing. These are the thoughts I don't want to think, what I don't want to believe. These are the actions I have. So it really helped for me to see concretely like where all the areas I was feeling lack in. And then to like mentally rehearse like who I wanted to be, like basically like the opposite of being like abundant and all that. It really helped for me to I should one thing that comes to mind is just like in order for you to like heal the wound, you got to acknowledge it's there. And I feel like I haven't been doing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's powerful, Tariq. Yes.
yeah, like I even think like, and I'm paraphrasing, but Malcolm X even said something where he's like, you know, like progress isn't like, like sticking the knife in the back and then like, like just pulling it all out. Like actually, no. He said, I'm butchering it. He said it's not like you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge the knife is there, and then you have to
Mm,
remove it. And progress happens when the wound actually heals.
yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
right. So that's what I'm getting
Sounds
at.
about
So
right. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. I realized how much I didn't really hear the term like spiritual bypassing till later, but I realized that
Mm,
I was doing that when I was a little bit like after, like when I started the work, I was just like, you know what? No more negativity. I'm not even going to focus on the negative, only on the positive. I don't care about none
yes.
of that. I'm just going to be good. None of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized like, but in order for me to fully immerse myself in the positive, I have to acknowledge the negative that's been holding me back.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and so I was not afraid to do that in 2022. And so it really helped for me to just continue to just look at that. I think it even got to a point where I didn't even have to look at it anymore because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not even that person anymore. So I can just move on. And it wasn't, I have to say, like it was not like a easy, like linear process at all because like I probably had my biggest identity crisis at the end of the event,
Mm,
on like a deeper level. And
yeah.
it's a beautiful one. And even like And as we're talking now, I've made so much peace with it, and I'm so grateful for it right now. And and this is a bit more of like a deeper, like spiritual conversation, but it's like me, like actually finally able to hear like God speak to me directly and to talk to Him directly. And
Yeah.
of course, of course, there's no gender. I'm just used to that. You
Yeah.
know, I yeah, I've grown up in the faith of Al Islam, just for
Yeah.
context,
Yeah.
and I've healed my relationship with God because
Mm.
I've been kind of been absorbed from like absorbing like other people's like projections of what God is supposed to be, what God's supposed to do. But then after that event, when I realized that God's actually like always on my team and has like so much love, I was like, listen, I got you. Like, yes, you messed up, but it's all good. I got you. Like
Yeah.
like you could trust me.
Yeah.
And I was not used to that. So of course, like there was some of like my ego death like happening, or my ego screaming like, "No, it's a trap. You're just thinking of you're just making it up." And so that was a whole battle I had to go through at the end, and a whole other era right now. But I'm a lot better now than I was like then in that regard, and I'm grateful for that because it actually accelerated a lot of things that I needed to look at as well. Because towards the end of the event, there was a lot of repressed stuff I didn't
Yeah.
even know was even there.
Yeah.
And my instinct was to like look at it like a battle, my old self is my enemy and I gotta kill it. And
Mm.
and I remember what Doc said at the intensive retreat, which was like one day. He doesn't do those anymore, but it's like before the progressive. And oh yeah, for like context, for those who don't know, so the week long, that's like the advanced retreat, and before that is the progressive. So it's like a 3 day. That's like a
Yeah.
beginner's one,
Yeah.
but also like he also has like this 1 day recording live. He doesn't do it anymore, but it's the intensive. It's more like lecture heavy, and then he
Yeah.
gives you like 2 meditations at the end to do. So it's more just like him like breaking down the science. I think it's closer to like breaking the habits work,
Yeah.
kind of crammed into like 1 day. So yeah, but I remember in the intensive he said you can't use the program to change the program because you'll just keep reprogramming the program, or you can't use the ego to
Yes.
change the ego because you'll just keep creating the more of the ego.
Yeah.
And I was like, ah man, like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like using my anger to get rid of my anger, like using my fear to get rid of my fear. It
Yeah.
almost it almost kind of reminds me also. Hopefully, I'm not getting too off track. Just let me know if I need to come back in
No,
a
you're
bit.
good.
Yeah. So almost kind of reminds me of, if you don't mind me getting a little bit nerdy, but I think about Star Wars and
Mm.
Episode 5. There's this scene where Luke's about to go into this like dark cave, and Luke's like, "What's in there?" Like, and Yoda tells him like, "Only what you take with you." And like, there's like a lot of
Uh,
like dark energy and force in there. So Luke like takes his weapons, and Yoda's like you don't need your weapons, but Luke does not listen. He goes in there and he sees this vision of Darth Vader, and he destroys Darth Vader, but of course it's a vision of him. So, and he realizes that it's actually him under the mask. So he destroyed himself because he faced his fear with his own with his fear. And so it was counterproductive. So that led to
yeah.
self-destruction.
Yeah.
Like he used fear to destroy his fear, and it didn't work. He only
Yeah.
destroyed himself. So
Yeah.
that's what I thought of. I was like, dang. Yeah. Yeah. But I could keep going on that too. And just like how just a lot of like these messages and fiction that I've learned like growing up, just all like foreshadowed my journey with Dr. Joe and just spiritually. And but yeah, I think that right there is another podcast too. But yeah, I know I took like a long turn down the rabbit hole
That's
and all
okay.
that,
You
but
said so many really important things. I think I really resonate with a lot of what you said. And I think these moments are just like beautiful to, like you said at the end, you could just watch yourself, right? Like you can't solve the problem from the same place where you created the problem. So I think that is so powerful. And I think one of the biggest gifts of meditation, right? That you are able to do that. Because when I was not meditating, I don't think I would have the the level of consciousness to be able to dissociate from my mind's chatter, which is always story, always something, right? But then to get to that point of actually dissociating from it and just watching what's happening, just observing for once. Like, what am I really doing? How am I behaving? How am I acting? And it's so lovely to hear you talk about how consciously you went about it. Even the fact that even your seeking of the many different aspects. I was so impressed when you said all the different things you tried before you really got into Dr. Joe's work. And they were all sort of in their own way very holistic. So I think
Hmm.
that's a salute to you that you didn't want, like a lot of people would just pop a pill, right, for the pain and
Hmm.
just make peace. But there is a part of you that sounds to me, of course, I'm just saying it, this is how it sounds to me. You can, of course, correct me, is that there's a part of you that said that there is more.
Hmm.
Don't just accept the status quo. Don't just accept that this is now a problem that you have to live with. And I really salute you for that, because I think that's what keeps a lot of people in where they are. And you
Hmm.
didn't do that. You found solutions. And once you found something that really resonated, you were brave enough to do the conscious work of choosing your thoughts and choosing your behaviors and having that notes app to consciously like bring so much conscious awareness to how you were thinking and feeling. And that led to this change in your body, in your energetic field, in who you are. And that is, of course, not a surprise, knowing all of Dr. Joe's work and my own personal experience with it. But I think to just hear it from someone who's done it is just magical. So thank you for sharing that.
I
I would
appreciate it.
love for you to talk about briefly, because we don't have too much time, but I would love to know, like, where are you now? Where has this journey brought you now? Now it's been like almost 2 years since that retreat, and
Mhm.
how has this changed? Like, how are you changed?
Yeah. So one thing I started getting better at is sitting with my emotions. Like not
Mm.
like just like not not like ignoring like they're not there. Like, like if I somehow like defaulted like before I would like need like a meditation to like get me back into it before, which helped because I know he has like those generating meditation, the 15-minute ones. He made those for like, if you like default back to your old self, you can use those to bring yourself back to, and connected with your ideal life, with your future. But one thing I started doing on top of that, or I might not even have to use those meditations at all sometimes, is just really being like present, like first like acknowledging like where it is in my body, and then just kind of just sitting with it. And then since like I've learned from him, like, where I put my attention is where I put my energy. So if I put my energy on there and I'm just present with it and I don't judge it,
Yeah.
it like naturally just dissolves. And then I just feel better. Like, and it's like my whole nervous system, my whole body's just like, thank God. Okay. Like
Yeah.
I could use this for like any time, like I'm triggered or like anything. Now, sometimes it
Yeah.
might take me a minute. Sometimes I really just have to block out some time and just give myself some space and then just sit with it and then
Yeah.
just, let it like do its thing. Cause, I think it's really important. And he even mentioned this in the breaking the habit as well. But, I haven't been seeing him talk about it too much lately, but I remember him saying like when you're figuring out like who you've been or like when you're sitting with an emotion, like sit with it but don't judge it. And so
Yes.
I've been literally like making that like a practice whenever like I find myself just like falling off, and then I kind of combined it with some somatic awareness that I've learned, like, okay, it's got to be in my body somewhere, and then I just let that dissolve. And then this like I don't feel like I have to like, because I know he talks a lot about like, elevated emotions and all that and how powerful they are. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't have to like work as hard to get into those elevated emotions when I do that first.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like
Beautiful.
I kind of got out of that. Like I got out of the negative spiral, the negative momentum. So
And
it's
it's
like
become your default mode now?
yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. See, that is
Hmm.
for anyone who is listening, like this is the magic of doing this type of meditation. Like you feel that you are doing woo woo work, but it's really not. It really, like Tariq is saying, it really changes you on a very fundamental level. I think it changes your default mode network of
Hmm.
reactionary approach or anger, anxiety, nervousness, this, that. You don't even have to work that hard to change it. It automatically just changes it. All you have to do is show up for yourself and be consistent and really sincere, like Tariq, you said. I mean, I feel like the work that you have done, the word I would associate with it is sincerity towards yourself, to showing up for yourself. And that led to this default mode network. I will just call it that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right about that. I'm not sure how much time we got. I did
We got five
there
minutes.
you got 5 minutes. All right. There was a couple folks I wanted to shout out on here who supported me in this too. You know,
Yeah.
some people who like helped me heal, like even like during the retreat or like afterwards, just been like supportive. So my man Pierre, I think you know, yeah, you know Pierre, you met him.
Yeah.
So I gotta shout my man out. He's amazing. Just like his love and his and just like his vision to just help the world heal. Like I like he really just has that energy about him. Like I want he wants everybody to be good, and I love it. Like him, my man Nick Metal, he's one of Doc's trainers in neural change solutions. Another good friend of Caitlin's too. And I would not be doing a service if I didn't talk about my amazing friend Dahlia. I mentioned her to you before. What's so fascinating about her is like she reminds me of me on so many levels too. Almost like a really like scary mirror in a way. She's like I remember because she heard that I got off the cane or I wasn't using it as much. And she was outside the ballroom and she's like, "Can I see you like without?" I'm like, I texted her like, I'll try. She's like, no, don't try. You got to do this. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, did she really just quote Yoda? Like really? So I came out the room and she was like, "See, look, I knew you could do it and all that." And it's amazing. Like I can only describe her in like two words. Like two words come to mind. It's just like divine love and empowerment. Like just those are like the two right there.
Yeah.
And just like really intelligent, and it's so funny. Like she'll say something that's like really profound, and I'll be like, "Oh, where'd that come from?" She'll be like, "I don't know." Like she'll just be like nonchalant about it, and I'm like, "Yo," but then I'll do it too, and she'll be like, "Yo, where'd you?" But like
Yeah.
the same. It's so
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, but I really had to shut her out because she definitely had me go down this whole rabbit hole of self discovery, like
Yeah.
in my own way after the retreat too, and just a lot of synchronicities like that. So I got to shout her out. But yeah,
And that's the
really great,
beauty of it, right?
really
The
grateful.
friends, the friendships you
Hmm.
form, and this community that you can form of people that will pull you up in much healthier ways. Because I think in the outside world, we also have people that would, pull you up from what they know. But I think that people who are doing the work, some sort of mindfulness, some meditation, some type of conscious awareness work will just pull you up in a slightly different way that just goes a little bit deeper. And it sounds like you have a lot of friends that did that for you.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, well, we are right at the end of our amazing chat, but one last quick question. If anybody is really questioning whether meditation is for them or not, what would you say to someone?
Hmm. They're questioning that. Well, I think Doc said it best. Like, if you feel because some people say like I can't like concentrate for that long. Because I even told you even like my own like excuses at the beginning too, when I was like, I don't think I could do it for that long. But starting off small, like it does help. But I remember Doc said something to the effect of, if you feel like you're not doing it right, you actually are. Like, because in
Yes.
the beginning, it's like, yeah, my focus keeps going to other things. And it's like, well, that's part of it. You're like, the practice is bringing your focus back. Once you keep doing that enough times,
Yeah.
you start like firing and wiring those neural pathways in your brain, and then it ends up becoming easier.
Yeah.
And then you can do that for anything in your life too. Like even
That's right.
and I think this even comes back full circle when I talk about my identity crisis and like hearing God, because one of the things I was wondering about was like, well, how am I know I'm not making this up in my head? And then I remembered like, well, where's my attention right now? Because number one, it can't be a thought because I'm aware of my thoughts. Like I can't
Mm.
like I'm just awareness.
Yeah.
So if I put my attention on my thoughts, then I'll think a thought or I'll be aware of certain thoughts. But if I put my attention on God, which is in my heart, I receive literally right there, like you just saw,
Yeah.
like I just moved, like I just
Yeah.
felt it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's
Beautiful.
the biggest thing I learned was getting out of my head and you know like putting my attention. It's like, oh, I understand. It's like tuning into different frequencies, like a radio. It's like, well,
Yes.
what am I tuned into?
Yeah.
Yeah, meditation's a skill for life. I don't care what nobody says. It's
Yes.
a skill for life. Like what you put your attention on.
Yeah, I love it. We're gonna close our lovely chat with that line. Meditation is a skill for life. And like you said before, that it will reflect in other areas of your life as well. It's not just one thing, it just has like ripple effects in everything else. And Tariq, I just want to thank you for coming and sharing your beautiful story. And I really appreciate how brave you are and how inspiring, of course, but also just being able to openly share what were your obstacles. Because I think that sometimes is what really resonates with people because we think our obstacles are just ours and no one else's. But when someone else says it, that this was also my obstacle, this is also how I thought. And to see you, how lovingly and beautifully you've brought yourself from point A to point B and you're headed towards point C and point Z. Just amazing. Thank you so much for making the time.
But yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Charu.
Yeah, of course.